everyone, I'm Scott from Sharky's Greenhouses and Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer, and today we're talking about transplanting tomatoes. Now, we started these tomatoes quite a while ago from seed, and it's time to get them into their permanent home. And we've got these great big containers, and one of my rules of thumb is, tomatoes use a lot of water, and you want to get them into as big of a container as you can handle. My rule of thumb is at least a 5-gallon pot. So these are 18-inch pots. They're fiber pots, and a 5-gallon container fits right in here with room to spare, so it's well over 5 gallons. We're going to split them up, and we're going to get them into our great big containers, and we're going to be adding in our soil. And I also want to show you how we're going to take the stems off. We're ready to take these plants apart, and this is a 1-gallon container. We call this a bucket because it's basically a bucket for a pot, and you can see there's a lot of nice healthy roots on here, and we have 2 individual Sweet 100 plants. And these tomatoes get very big. So our Sweet 100 cherry tomato plants, last year I had one that went all the way up the greenhouses. These ceilings are about 12 feet tall. It went all the way to the top, and then it found a corner, and somehow it started going outside. So they were well over 12 feet tall. So tomato plants can get massive. Thank you, Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer. They get big and healthy, and they produce a lot of tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and split this apart. And you know what? I'm not going to be real dainty about it. We're just going to go ahead, split it right apart, and get them into their homes. My finger and my thumb through, and it's kind of falling apart. It's going to come right out. I'm just going to pull it apart. It's going to be messy. There we go. So there we have them in 2. No problem. All right, we are ready to get this in the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip off all the leaves and stems that are going below the soil, and we're going to bury this right up to its neck, like right here. And this is one of those things that when I tell our customers, how deep they can bury the tomato, they're always surprised. Yes, you can really, really bury a tomato deep, because all this stuff along this main stem that looks like little hairs, that's all going to turn into roots, and that's going to make a really healthy tomato because it's going to develop roots all along the stem, and it's going to thicken up that stem, and that tomato plant is going to get bigger and stronger, and it's going to be a healthy, strong tomato. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to take off all of these leaves and foliage that are below, anything below, it's coming off. So I'm just going to go through. You can use the scissors if you want. We do this pretty quickly, so I'm just going to go through, nip it all off. Anything below the soil comes off. Just strip it right down bare, right to the tree trunk. All right, so this tomato plant is going to get buried deep. It's going to get buried right up to here. So in the soil we go. I'm making a hole. I'm going to push it down as far as I can, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill this up. And this container, I mean, like I said, this is a huge container, and I already had it pretty full. Now, I get asked this all the time. Can I reuse soil? So you have a great big pot like this, there's no need really to get rid of all that soil. I at least like to top dress and use, maybe that 4, 5, 6 inches, and just adding nice fresh soil at the top. But you can reuse. I had some hanging baskets that just really didn't turn out, so I used that soil and I put it in here to bring up from the base, and I'm at least halfway, if not 3/4 of the way up with older soil. So now I'm going to take good soil. Now, my opinion on soil, you need to have a good quality soil. So I'm going to use Sun-Gro soil. In our greenhouses, we use both Sun-Gro and Jolly Gardener. They're both good soils to use. It makes all the difference. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill in these last few inches here with the soil at the top. These tomatoes are going to get a little bit beat up. They will survive. When we do this in the greenhouses, we're doing it pretty quick. I'm just going to go through, pat it down, and get this filled right back up. I might have to keep pushing down the tomato, but I want to kind of compress that soil around it so that it's sitting in there pretty sturdy, because I'm going to come along and I'm going to water it, and that soil is going to move around again. So I'm gonna kind of compress and push that soil. I'm gonna put that tomato plant right where I want it and then push that soil down. All right, that's gonna do it. Tomato plants drink like my grandma. They drink a lot of water, so you have to leave an inch or so, of lip around that base so that it has lots of water. Imagine when this plant gets as big as, like I was talking before, 10, 12 feet tall, it was drinking a lot of water. So it's gonna need that room. Okay, there we go. So we're all set here. I'm gonna do this one next so that I have both my plants ready to roll. You can check out all of our how-to videos on our channel. Please be sure to give us a thumbs up for this video and to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook. You can also check out our beatyourneighbor.com website where we have our Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer, but we have a lot of other garden products. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.